second session of your college program, we begin discussion of your relationships. If you are going to build something that's going to last and continue to be functionally right and useful, it will need to be well and thoughtfully designed. Then as it gets underway, it will need to develop around strong uprights, to which afterwards the extension by horizontals can be attached for support. In building your development as a person, it is just like that. Relationships are designed to provide framework to your selfhood, which means to yourself as a person. And they are well designed to be both uprights and horizontals. Except that in discussing relationships, we're going to replace those words with verticals and laterals. The framework to your selfhood, or the characteristics of your personality, or if you like, your spiritual characteristics, or even your characteristic spirituality. That framework is derived from the actual experience of your relationships, both verticals and lateral. What do we mean by that? What is a vertical relationship? What is a lateral relationship?
Hang on. Let's get clear on what you mean by a relationship. So we're all talking about the same thing. It can mean different things to different people.
Right. As a definition that we can work with in this college series, let's put it like this. A relationship exists where there is a connection between persons by which they affect each other. So a relationship opens a line between persons by which they can get to each other. Just watch teenagers on a telephone line to each other. There is the possibility also that the opened line can be used not just to get to each other, but to get at each other. Therefore, relationships are connections with positive as well as negative possibilities. They have a potential that could take them either way. What is important about our definition is that it helps us to see that where there is an effect working in one direction only, that is, only one of the persons is being affected, there isn't a true or complete relationship going on. The persons concerned are not allowing or acknowledging a mutual reference to each other. In continuing relationships, there is a continuing exchange of the person's influence on each other. One-to-one relationships illustrate this very clearly, but it applies just as clearly, however, to relationships with a group of several or even many persons. The group could be a family. You have a relationship with your mother, your father, your brother and sister, affecting each other singly. But you also have relationship with them as a family group. The family as a whole affects you, and you affect the whole family. You affect a person who is your friend, and he or she affects you. You relate to a group of your friends. That group as a whole affects the relationship you are conducting with any one member of the group. That group may be a sports team or a college class. A connection to someone or to a group that has a good effect on us is considered to be a good relationship, a positive one, a plus. It's adding to me as a person. Whereas a connection that has a bad effect on us is thought of as a bad relationship, a negative one, a minus. It's subtracting something from me. Later on, we're going to explore this concept of good and bad and dig into what's good about good and bad about bad. But for now, we're going to keep it simple and say, a good relationship is one that makes me feel good about myself and the other person or persons. A bad relationship is one in which I feel bad about myself and about the other person or persons.
That's given me heaps of ideas to think about. I've never really thought of relationships that way. You could go on with explanations of those vertical and lateral kinds of relationships. I'm very curious about them and their differences.
Here we go then. We aren't inventing two new kinds of relationships. We only want you to recognize that you have always been experiencing these two different directions to your relationships, probably without being aware of their differences. Just think back to how your life began and what relationships you started with. Answer: your parents, adults, big people who were above you, over you, whom you looked up to, in dependence on them. At first, out of complete helplessness. You couldn't do anything for yourself except breathe, fall asleep, wake up, and make a noise. You got hungry and wet and in a mess, and you couldn't do anything about it except rely on those big people to help you, to support you and care for you by meeting your needs. Those are vertical relationships, and you really need them. We need them to be caring and to show that they love us, dependably, not changeably, not occasionally, or just when it happens to suit them. Our needs are too urgent for that. If they don't respond, it makes me wonder if they still care, or even if they are still there when they don't come. And that's fearful. How can I do without them? What's going to happen to me? Besides these big people, there are some smaller people moving around me who seem to share my verticals, which could be scary if their need for love and care uses up the supply and runs me short. I wouldn't like them around if they are just rivals. Slowly, I sort out these brothers and sisters, these siblings who share parenting, my verticals. These are relationships with those who are on the same basis as me, on my level. They are ones like me. These are my lateral relationships. Later, I will identify them as persons who are my peers. In a bigger family, the older children develop a role in helping to care for younger ones. In this case, those older ones need the qualities that are expected and necessary in a vertical.
Hang on. Are you saying I'm a kind of vertical, a support person for my little sister or brother? That I need to be a dependable caregiver, not sometimes giving them the brush off like, you're a nuisance, you're in my way, I can't be bothered with you, I'm busy, get lost, because it harms them, Far out.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You're starting to get the picture of what makes good families. Where there are good family relationships, there is respect for each other. And to say that a vertical is a person looked up to refers also to this regarding them with respect. However, respect can't be ordered. It has to be earned as a reward for the quality of the relationship given. And the first kind of relationship in a family that has to earn respect is the vertical kind. Those verticals need to show the way because it is the first experienced kind of relationship. From a child's point of view, it is the way the parents treat them in being above them that wins respect from children. They grow to respect a good vertical. So here's the rule. All relationships need to show respect. Coming back to lateral relations, they branch out in all directions. We have a lot more lateral, on my level relationships than we do verticals. Verticals begin our relationship experience. Laterals continue and develop our relationship experience. They follow from our verticals. And the quality of the experienced verticals will show up in the quality of the laterals that we create and conduct. It's a case of good verticals will help us in creating good laterals, whereas bad verticals will make it very easy to have bad laterals. Remember, a relationship exists as a connection between persons which enables them to affect each other. What we are now saying is that a vertically affecting relationship goes on affecting a person even beyond what happens within that direct relationship. It does something to a child that is evident in the way that child goes about handling its own chosen peer relations. So we have to add to our understanding of relationships this text means that it's the quality of the experience given to you by your verticals that becomes the basis to the quality of the experience that you are going to give to your laterals.
That's awesome. So what happens in our family relations doesn't stop there. It doesn't stay there when we leave home and go outside our families. We carry the effects with us inside us.
You get the picture pretty quickly, Yoshi. That's being smart in the right way, catching on quickly. Now you understand why families need to run right and offer the experience of really good relationships that everyone in the family feels good about. That rope you bring with you into college comes from a background that is a family background. Look around you at college. You have stepped into more vertical and lateral relations. Teachers are verticals whom you depend on for support and help to learn. The other pupils are your fellow student peers, the laterals who are on your level. So exactly the same issues that apply to good families apply to good schools. How do you take the measure of a good school? Using a relational tape measure, hold it up to the verticals. Are they earning your respect for the quality of relationship they offer you? Do they receive respect from you? Do you show it? Or do you see them under the shadow of verticals that you have experienced elsewhere, which maybe unconsciously but also quite unfairly is something you have brought in with you to college? Don't put onto others a penalty that they shouldn't have to pay. Now look around the classroom and especially the playground. What's going on amongst the laterals, between the peers? How they are treating each other. If you see standover tactics, threatening attitudes, bullying behavior, you have to ask, where does this come from? What is it in the background experience that they are bringing in here? Have they been threatened and stood over by verticals in a way they couldn't do anything about? And now they look for the opportunity to get it out of themselves into their peer situations. Again, is that fair? To be waiting for the chance to jump on someone to make their life a misery. Someone who doesn't deserve it. Where is the respect that has to be in every relationship?
What do you think we should do about it? Should everyone found bullying be asked to write an essay in detention on what their relationship and experiences in which they themselves have been felt bullied and threatened, so they can take a look at what has produced their bullying behavior?
Why don't you put that on your blackboard for today so the whole class can discuss it?
Sometimes your ideas aren't bad at all. But before I give you the questions, take a look at my picture. I had it painted to show I believe in hanging on to both vertical and lateral relationships. Of course, I'm the filling in their sandwiches. Now for the blackboard. Number 1. Can you give a definition of relationship? Number 2. Write down some of your relationships in which both persons are affecting each other. Number 3. Now mark the people in those relationships with a V or an L to show who is a vertical and who is a lateral. Number 4. Mark with a tick the relationships you find are positive, the ones that are a plus for you. Have you experienced bullying? How should it be dealt with? Number 5. Do you agree with YOSHI on holding both your verticals and laterals together? Do they sometimes collide with each other? What's the cause for the collision?